Hello and a very warm welcome to yet another interesting edition of the program CAC Weekly, a weekly program that keeps you abreast on the activities and the achievement of the Corporate Affairs Commission. My name is Amina Jabril. Now coming up on the program, investment in the non-oil sector comes on the focus as CAC participates in US-Nigeria Investment Summit. On ease of doing business, CAC pursues digitization of trademark and patent registry. Plus, some CAC directors bow out in style. We'll be right back after this break. Just stay with us.
The Open Government Partnership Initiative and the Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative. Nigeria committed to publish a publicly available register of beneficial owners. So in this case, persons with level control. We are working on a new technology that will further extend this interface to enable you to aggregate, not just for one company, to query the database when it comes to PSC. We will make it in open data format that will allow you to extract information on persons with criminal control. This will help our whistleblowers and our anti-corruption agencies. And the disclosure, we are at the verge of joining the leadership group, beneficial ownership with leadership group. We'll have the benefit of sharing information with other countries on beneficial owners of these companies.
Welcome back. We flag off today with the efforts being made to diversify Nigeria's economy. Now, the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, was among several government agencies that successfully participated in the just concluded second edition of the US-Nigeria Investment Summit, USNIIS 2021, held in New York, United States of America. The summit, which was held during the 76th United Nations General Assembly, had as its theme, Nigeria, the future of global business. The US-Nigeria Investment Summit 2021 was designed to contribute to the improvement of economic relations between Nigeria and the US, as well as the diversification of Nigeria's economy. It also served as a platform for effective bilateral economic engagement between the two nations, private and public sectors, as well as to showcase the enormous investment opportunities available in Nigeria, especially the non-oil sectors of the economy. The US-Nigeria Investment Summit 2021 also served as a platform for present and future investment networking, matchmaking in the areas of agriculture and agro-allied industries, information and communications technology, mining, banking and financial services, power generation, tourism, hospitality, and entrepreneurial development, amongst others. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Otumba Niyi Adebayo, and the Central Bank Governor, Godwin Emefiele, were among several speakers at the event, which attracted over 200 participants from Nigeria. Now, moving on to the efforts the federal government is making to support the development of small businesses, the Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, Ambassador Mariam Katagum, has described the implementation of the COVID-19 Survival Fund as tough and challenging experience. Ambassador Katagum revealed this while speaking at the quarterly meeting of the heads of agencies in the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. Now, the minister, however, said the program was a huge success and was due for wind-up soon. Speaking in the same vein, the CEO of the Corporate Affairs Commission, Alhaji Garba Abubakar, said though the federal government-sponsored 250,000 business names registration suffered a delay from one of the selected aggregators, the Commission had less than 3,000 applications to wind up the project. The Registrar General therefore gave a commitment to ensure completion by first week of October 2021. He also used the forum to update the gathering on the digitization of the trademark and patent registry, which was being pursued by the CAC in a bid to ensure synergy and eliminate, amongst others, possible conflicts, saying that the project was awaiting clearance from NITDA, which was studying the statement of requirements submitted to it.
And entrepreneurs and investors have wider options now apart from companies and businessmen, one can register either a limited partnership or limited liability partnership. A limited liability partnership has a corporate personality. It has separate legal existence from the member, just like a company. While a limited partnership is like a businessman. On ongoing projects, go to the next page. We've intensified our enlightenment and sensitization on the new CAMA, particularly the issue of beneficial ownership disclosure. I was at a public engagement about 2 weeks ago that was organized by the Transparency International on the issue of beneficial ownership. So this is a global issue now, and Nigeria is supposed to be a member of the BO leadership group. Then the Honorable Minister has already written no objection to that.
In her remarks, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, Mrs. Evelyn Ngige, applauded the Commission's support to the digitization of the trade MAC and patent registry, and therefore urged it to extend similar support to some departments in the ministry. Declaring open the meeting earlier, the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Otumba Niyi Adebayo, said the event was being held quarterly to assess, amongst others, the journey so far, challenges and way forward for the agencies under the ministry's purview. Otumba Adebayo therefore urged agencies to ensure more commitment and dedication to service for the overall growth of the Nigerian economy. The meeting was well attended by no less than 18 heads of agencies and directors in the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. And on to a moment of mixed feelings. The Corporate Affairs Commission's Director of Finance and Accounts Department, Usman Maude, has bowed out in style after 20 years of meritorious service to the Commission and the nation. To mark this exit, the staff of the Finance and Account Department organized a reception in honor of their retiring director. Some of the speakers who took turns to eulogize Usman Maude included Isa Umaru, DD, FNA, Gloria Essien, DD, Heads, BPRS, Uzo Uzoma, DD, Bedet, and Asuku Solomon Achibong, DD, Head Internal Audit. Now, the speakers were unanimous in describing the retiring director as a very humble, patient, tolerant, gentle, and unassuming, peace-loving personality whose services would be dearly missed by the Commission. While describing his contribution to the growth of the Commission as worthy of emulation, the speakers further applauded his exceptional support and counsel to them at various occasions. Now, the finance and accounts staff therefore prayed God Almighty to guide him in his future endeavor. Highlights of the event included a presentation of a 65-inch smart TV and congratulatory card signed by staff of the Finance and Accounts Department of the Commission. CAC Weekly reports that Usman Maude, a traditional title holder of Serikin Dawakin Zazzau, joined the services of the Commission on 25th June 2001 and is retiring, having attained the mandatory retirement age of 60. In another development, the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC's Director of Budget Planning, Research and Statistics, BPRS, Ahmed Bappa, FSI, has commenced his retirement leave. The leave is preparatory to exit of the services of the Commission on 31st of December 2021 after attaining the mandatory retirement age of 60 in accordance with provisions of the law. The BPRS staff organized a reception in honor of the director, whom they described as hardworking and diligent public servant. According to them, A.M. Bappa's mentoring and counseling skills, amongst others, would be missed greatly by the Commission. Responding, Ahmed Bappa expressed gratitude to Almighty God for granting him the opportunity to serve the Commission and the nation in various capacities. He used the forum to appreciate what he called the support, the encouragement and prayers he enjoyed from the staff during his stay in the Commission. Ahmed Bapad therefore enjoined staff to continue to dedicate themselves to rendering selfless service to the Commission and the nation in general. Highlights of the event include presentation of gifts. And now to our interview segment. As the Commission continues to unveil a series of reform initiatives, checklists for some services have also been revised in accordance with global best practices. Again, Mr. Tolulokpa Adiola Shonaike, the Assistant Director, Registry Department, helps us to further understand what the revised checklist is all about. Do enjoy watching this interview.
Good to have you on the program again.
Thank you very much, Medina.
Okay. Last week we started with the revised operations checklist, and I do know that we stopped somewhere at prohibited, names.
Yes.
Yeah. And then today we have to continue with that. And today we're going to be looking at registration, company registration, from the limited liability to the business name to the incorporated trustees.
Yes.
Okay. So, but let's take it one at a time. So let's start with the limited liability company registration.
Right.
Yeah. What has changed as far as the requirements are concerned?
Okay, for all of the entities, companies, limited business names, incorporated trustees, limited liability partnerships and partnerships. For the last two, limited liability partnerships and partnerships, they are new. So they are new requirements. Okay, so we had to develop operations checklists for them, service requirements. But for the first three, a few things changed. The law introduced a few things, starting with the companies, that's the LLC, limited liability companies. You have the first thing of note is that the shares of companies must now be fully issued.
Okay, unlike before.
Unlike before. I mean, so what that did was to dispense with what we described as the authorized concept of authorized share capital. So now there's no longer unissued. The law does not contemplate situations where you have unissued shares, except for the purpose of transiting from the old to the new. So all the shares of companies must now be fully issued. That's the first thing that has changed in the service requirement for companies, for registration of companies. And then the prescribed minimum share capital has also changed. Under 1990, for private companies, it was 10,000 naira. Right, and for public companies, it was 500,000 naira. But now the prescribed minimum issued capital, share capital, for private companies is 100,000, while for public companies it is 2 million naira. Again, in the case of companies limited by guarantee, they don't have share capital, but they have contributions. Now, under the old law, that's the 1990, the total aggregate, that's the total contribution, the aggregate for all members, right, was 10,000, should not be less than 10,000 naira. But now the minimum is 100,000 naira. Then for, except for companies limited by guarantee, private companies may now have one shareholder, the single shareholder. That's what you call this one-man company. Before now, the minimum number of persons to form a company was 2.
That's true.
But now one person can form private companies, except again, in the case of companies limited by guarantee. The law expressly says that you must have at least two members. Okay. And then you also have for small companies again, small companies may have one director. The other was one shareholder in the case of private companies, with the exception of company limited by guarantee. But in the case of directors, only small companies can have one director. So you may still be a private company, but if you are not a small company, you cannot have one director. Right. And then for small companies also, the law has given an option to them. They don't have to have a secretary. That does not mean if they have, it's a problem. No. But there's no that burden of having a secretary. The law has taken it off them. For foreign participation.
Because that's where I was coming to.
Yes.
That he may use his Nigerian address. What if he
as
doesn't?
Service address.
What if he doesn't have a Nigerian
No,
address?
well, again,
he's just coming in.
Again, like we said, he may.
Okay.
He does not have to.
Okay.
You can use his foreign address.
Okay.
Why we put it there is because of our own approving officers. Because now the law requires you to provide company address and service. I mean, residential address and service address. Is your service address that ordinarily will be on public record? You can hide your residential address.
Okay.
So is this service address we are talking about? If it says it's a Nigerian address, don't ask for residency permit. You know, you don't need proof of residency, so shouldn't ask for residence permit. Then, except in specified cases also, special resolutions are the only, or written resolutions in lieu of them. In the case of post-registration, those are the only resolutions that you are required to file. We have dispensed with ordinary resolutions because they are not, you are not obligated as a company to submit those to us at the CAC. But in the case of special resolutions or resolutions that would otherwise pass as special resolutions, considering the number of the majority required to carry that resolution. And in some cases where the law pointedly makes it mandatory. For instance, in the case of resolution to increase the issued share capital of a company, the law says that when you are giving us notice, that is by way of submitting the form online, that notice must be accompanied by the resolution authorizing the increase, even though it's an ordinary resolution.
Okay.
So in that case, that ordinary resolution you must submit to CAC. But in any other case, ordinary resolutions are no longer a requirement for filing. Just come out, complete the form, put the date of the resolution on the form, and we'll take it from there. Then for small and single shareholder companies, right, there's also no requirement for them to hold annual general meetings.
Yes.
You know, single shareholder.
So that
of course,
burden has been taken off them,
to, again, like we said, to reduce the cost of governance. Because these things add cost to running and operating a business. You know, and small companies also are not under obligation anymore to file audited financial statements.
Okay, I'm sure that's the most interesting part.
You know, so they can file statements if they want. They can also file some, financial statements. They can also file some statements in lieu, right? But those statements don't have to be audited, unlike for big companies and for PLCs, public companies.
Since they are small now, so why do they need to start submitting audited?
Okay, so you are getting the gist. And then a new thing that the law has also done is to restrict the scope of those who can practice as insolvency practitioners. Now, insolvency practitioners, as a description, you know, was alien to 1990 Act.
Yes, because that's what I was coming to.
But it's something that the law has now, 2020, introduced and recognized. Because again, the options that were available in the law then were just receivership and winding up. You know, which do not necessarily promote or obligate business rescue, right? The focus was persons have given you money or some facilities or some indulgence, however, you know, for you to do business with, and now you are having difficulty going forward with that business. Now, such persons need their interest protected. So they appoint whether liquidator, whether receiver, to take over your business and recover their money. So the main focus was recovering the money for the creditor. Now, in doing that, the undertakings may suffer some harm. You know, maybe lack of diligence, maybe lack of thoroughness on the part of the manager or the receiver or the liquidator. So long as there's nothing illegal that he has done, you can really not hold him to account for that. But he must recover whatever is
investment.
His principal has appointed him to do. So now the focus is, let's help the company through, get out of the woods. Now, in doing that, that is a very technical thing. It's not something anybody can do, right? So you need to show that you have some proficiency in these areas, you know, and that you have some experiences also, you know, that you've been doing this for some time. So only those with such qualifications, only those with such qualifications or proficiencies, you know, can now be accredited to either be a receiver, to be a receiver manager, to be an official receiver, to be a liquidator, to be a nominee, to be a supervisor. You know, all of these persons and officers are oversee the resolution processes, of insolvency.
Okay. So I think we should just move to the next one, which is the business
Yes,
name.
for business names, okay, not much has changed.
Yes.
For business name, what has now become very, very clear is that foreigners cannot form or join in the formation of a business name in Nigeria.
Why?
Because for foreign participation in business in Nigeria, there is a requirement for share capital.
Okay.
So if you say there is a requirement for share capital, right? A business name does not have share capital.
Yes.
So if a business name does not have share
just
capital,
one business, one person.
If it does not have share capital, that means it cannot fulfill that requirement for minimum share capital. So because of that, foreigners can no longer, we don't allow them to form or join in the formation of a business name.
I'm seeing one interesting one. Minor can join provided they are 2 adults.
Yes. Minors,
so a minor will be like a toddler?
Oh. Anybody under the age of 18.
Oh, okay. So if it's just 1 day old baby.
Well, ordinarily, even in case law, right? In common law, right? Yeah. Minors can do business.
Okay.
The only thing is that even though they do not have capacity to contract, if they enter contract with you, an adult, the law is looking that you knew what you were doing entering with them. That this person's lack capacity. So if you have committed to doing something for them, you must do it. But you cannot enforce it against them. You understand? You cannot enforce their own part against them. Because the law will be there to protect them, because it is an uneven equation. Uneven yoke. The law looks at it that you will take an undue advantage of this person. So we must protect it. The other one to talk about before we go to the new entities will be incorporated trustees.
Yes.
Okay. Now, with incorporated trustees, we know now generally that is not just, it wasn't just introduced under 1990s. Also, it was part of the, under 2020, it was part of 1990 requirements. You need reservation code for that. Then, one thing we're also now serious about that we insist is that foreigners cannot be trustees.
Why?
Because trusteeship will require residency presence.
Okay.
Because this is a position of trust. Okay, persons have appointed you as to oversee some assets of the association. And so because what incorporated trustee does is to vest, once registered, is to vest the property of that association in the trustees. So the trustees are the ones who become a corporate body, not the association.
Okay.
So they determine how the properties are managed, how the properties are otherwise expended, how they are preserved, anything alienated or secured, it is their problem. So if anything should happen, maybe there's waste of property, they are the ones that the law will hold.
Okay.
If there's any fraud regarding those properties, they're the ones the law will hold. So it's a position that requires your presence, it's a position that requires your diligence.
Okay.
In other jurisdictions, in Europe, even in the US, you cannot be a trustee if you are not resident. So it won't matter whether you are a foreigner or whether you are a local in Nigeria. But you must be. Residency is very, very important. That you are resident in Nigeria and you are legally resident in Nigeria.
Okay. Okay.
Again,
I can also see the issue of the NIMC, the National Identification Number.
Yes. Now we know that NIMC issues, there is a kind of ID they issue for non-residents, for foreigners.
Yeah.
So we're saying that ID is also acceptable.
Okay, now.
Yes. In furtherance of any application to register such associations.
Okay. I know that there are technical areas and so much to discuss, but because of time, as we round up, I do know that this revised checklist operation will be, exposed to stakeholders buy-in. When will that happen?
It will happen this month. We're at the stage where internally we have gotten, gathered all the comments and inputs on it. We're harmonizing that. Once it's harmonized and then a clean copy is presented, it will be posted on our website and it will be sent to principal stakeholders, critical ones.
Okay.
and for their comments.
Okay.
And if it's, that will happen, everything will happen this month.
Okay, so that people can understand and digest it better.
Yes.
Otherwise, they just go to the website and see one operation checklist and they start
No,
screaming.
we'll operationalize it, so to say, before the end of the month.
Okay. We wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Tolulope Adeola Shonake,
Yes.
thank you very much indeed for your time as
You're
always.
welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And that does it for this week's edition of the program, CAC Weekly. We do hope you enjoyed watching. Remember, for comments and inquiries, you can please take advantage of our social media handles and our helplines. On Instagram and Facebook, it is Corporate Affairs Commission. Our email is cservice@cac.gov.ng. You could also visit our website via www.cac.gov.ng. And our helplines are on the numbers 081-822-99016 or 081-822-98971, 090-874-01598 or 090-874-01599 and 090-874-01600. Do join us next week for another interesting edition of the program. Same time, same station. From me, Amina Jibril, and the whole team here, it is bye for now.